On this episode, we're going to review Stardom's Osaka 2 days. As you know, this is only a 2 day event in Osaka on June the 11th and the 12th. And we also got AEW Dynamite with their final go home show before we head to the Forbidden Door. The real question is who will make their appearance before we get to this awesome show we've been dying to see. I'm kind of excited for this one for everyone. And of course, we got two news updates. One coming from Tokyo Pro Wrestling regarding their upcoming tournament, the Tokyo Princess Cup. And of course, Color's leader, Saki, has announced her upcoming match with Colors and Cosmic Angels. So, let's get ready with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J. Rod here. So let's begin with Stardom here with Osaka 2 days. Now I will put both days in the same order, as you know, to keep them all squeezed up. So let's begin with day number one that took place on June the 11th in Osaka. Our opening match, or should I say the first two matches, are part of the qualifying matches for the 5-star Grand Prix. Now keep in mind, I mentioned this, only 3 spots were available. Now one, as I mentioned, it's going to be spoiler alert, I already knew about this one, but let's review them anyway. Starting with Block A, we have Waka Tsukiyama taking on Momo Kogo. Now, during this time, both these ladies had 0 points. Momo Kogo came up short in her last match against Miyu Amasaki, but however, this match was pretty interesting. Waka seems like she had everything under control, but however, Momo Kogo had the much better advantage against her, gaining her 2 points in this one. So basically, this is one her first 2 points she gets, so that means she gets 1 win and 1 loss. As for Waka, well, she remained winless, as you know. It always been going on with it, even though we believe in her. Now, our Block B, we have Lady C versus Sayek Ida. Now, Lady C, as you know, we know she's a tall woman. She's like 5'9" or 10, taking on the much shorter individual, Sayek Ida. Now, you can say this is a battle of the David versus Goliath. Now, I've seen these wrestlers how they are. Sayek Ida, even though for a girl of her size, 5 foot, uh, 5 foot or something like that, she is a very strong individual. So is Lady C, but she picked up an amazing victory on this one by, uh, how do I say, uh, I think it was like a submission move that forced Saya Ida to tap out. So this gained her 2 points for the first time ever. Now she did not participate in the first 2 days. She was involved in other matches. However, Saya Ida, I believe already has 1 win or something like that. So we'll see. Now our next match we have is tag team action. We have Ruka and Momo Watanabe of DDM taking on Mai Sakurai and Julia of Odatai and Mai Sakurai and Julia of DDM. Now, however, this match, as you know, Odatai, they're always the ones that cut corners. Mai Sakurai even tried to deal with Ruka, but however, Julia was the only one who was able to pick up a victory, taking out Ruka. 1, 2, 3, it's over. Now, keep in mind, both Mai Sakurai and Julia, along with Micah, have their sights set on the artist belts that currently Momo Watanabe has. Also, Saki and Starlight Kid. Our next match we have, of course, is God's Eye, consistent of Amisuri and Mirai taking on Queen's Quest, Utami Ishida and Saya Kamitai. Now, keep in mind, this was one of the most interesting matches. Like, there were powerhouses, moves after moves. Keep in mind, Mirai actually did challenge, what's her name, Sayakami Tani for the white belt, but came up short. But unfortunately, the match ended in a double countout outside the ring. So basically, it was done. It was happened up there, 11 minutes and 15 seconds. But however, as soon as the thing was over, we had a surprise visit by Kyrie. That's right, Kyrie Zane made her appearance. It appears that she has her set sight against for the white belt. However, instead of challenging for the white belt, she decided that she wants to have a tag team match against Sayakami Tani. Now, she could pick anybody. Now, as for Kyrie, there's only two possibilities, either Mayu or Tam. But to me, I feel she could work better with Tam because, Tam admires her a lot. Now, our next match we have is, of course, their longtime rivals. If you guys remember, we have DDM, Natsupoi, Himeka, and Maika taking on Cosmic Angels, Unagi Sayaka, Mina Shirakawa, and Tam Nakano. Now, keep in mind, it was DDM that beaten Cosmic Angels for the artist belts, but however, this match is more of the intensified story between Tam and Natsupoi. Now, if you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, let me explain it. Natsupoi has issues towards Tam. They used to be friends, and then she was getting jealous that Tam's been getting all the attention. Now, she was trying to believe that Tam has become weak, that she needs to retire because things have not been going well for, of course, for Cosmic Angels. But now things are changing for the better. As you know, they integrated colors into Cosmic Angels. However, their match did not, it was going out of mind. But however, somehow Tam was able to overcome not using the Tiger Suplex on her because it was too obvious that Natsupoi knew that was coming, but it did not. But however, Natsupoi didn't care if she lost the match. Her purpose, as you know, they're going to be facing each other twice. They're going to be challenging each other on the 26th of June and the 28th. Natsupoi's mission is to destroy Tam before that. However, during the post-match comments, she attacked her and they went on the elevator. And they kind of continued on. But in the press conference they had for their upcoming event, the Midsummer Champions, Natsupoi wasn't there. But there was a reason why, and that's going to be in the following day, the reason. Now, our next match, we have a three-way match. Starlight Kid versus Mayu Iwatani and Suri. Now, you can guess this match is crazy how it's going to be in. So I have to say it was very awesome how it was. But however, once again, we ended up in a time limit draw. And I'm sure this is not what they all wanted. So it kind of ended that way. Now, our main event is the Goddesses of Stardom. We have, of course, the challengers, Oda Tais, Saki Kashima, and Fukigen Dev taking on FWC, Koguma, and Azuki. Now, you can tell by this type of match. Now, Fukigen Dev is a high-speed genius as well. She's very fast. But, however, it was Koguma who picked up an amazing victory when she pinned Kashima. She was able to outsmart her than she normally. However, in the post-match, they asked for any challengers. Apparently, the challengers that stepped up is none other than God's Eye, Mirai, and Amisori. Now, this could be a perfect opportunity for them, so they're willing to take this match into a challenge. So, right now, that's pretty much it. What took place on the 11th of June. Now, let's jump in with the 12th, to be exact. Now, once again, we continue with the two matches of the 5-star Grand Prix of qualifying matches. Now, let's start with Block B. We have Mai Sakurai taking on Saya. Now, Mai Sakurai, as you know, already won her first match, won one match already. But however, this is where she has to be her A game. Now, she's not dealing with a short individual like Saya Kamitani. Not to mention her chops are like freaking hell. You know they're gonna get marks right here in their chest, and that's how it is. But it was, of course, Saya who walked out as the victor with the submission. And I don't think, with a pinfall, and Sakurai cannot believe it that ended in that fashion. So basically, but yeah. Now our next match in our block A, we have Waka Tsukiyama taking an Amisura. Now keep in mind these two ladies know each other before. If you guys don't know this, they met at At-Risk Girls before, but this is a different timing. However, Waka did try to fight her best, but however, it was enough because Amisori is a powerhouse. If If you guys ever seen her, she is impressive. But that's how it is, and ended with Waka losing once again. Now our next match we have Ruka taking on Momo Kogo. Now this is a challenge for Momo Kogo. Now in this particular type, you know Momo Kogo, she's a very small individual, very skinny, but she's very athletic. She takes on a very powerful and strong Ruka. But don't forget, she's Odatai. She can cut corners however she wants. But luckily, it did not stop Momo Kogo. Somehow, she was able to pick up a victory torture. And of course, she had to deal with the constant pain, getting beat up by Ruka, who you know Ruka will not take this kindly one way or the other. Now, our next match, we have, of course, a very interesting three-way match. We have Momo Watanabe, Mina Shirakawa, and Natsupoi. Now, keep in mind, Natsupoi has no core with them, but her only objection is to send a direct message to Tam Nakano through Mina. But however, the match did not go accordingly. Natsupoi won the match by disqualification. Apparently, what's her name, Momo Watanabe brought in a weapon, a wrench, and whacked her in the head. However, what you don't see is that was shown later. Natsupoi was bleeding from the side of the head because of it. That's why she was not there at the press conference. So she's going to be out for a little bit before we get to the 26th of the event. So that it was the reason why she wasn't there. Now our next match we have the Cosmic Angels, Unagi and Tam taking on Godzai, Mirai, and Sudi. Now this was one of those interesting matches. Now keep in mind, Godzai has been building momentum since they started, but however, it was of course um, Mirai who picked up the victory by applying a submission move on Unagi, forcing her to tap out. But however, during that time, you may notice that Tam Nakano has her sights on the red belt. That's a belt that she hasn't obtained yet. So we'll see what happens then. Now our next match we have, of course, DDM consistent of Himeka, Maika, and Julia taking on Stars consistently with Koguma, Azuki, and Mayuta. Now keep in mind, DDM has been trying for a while, keeping the momentum going as much as possible. But however, the match did not go according to the plan because it ended in time limit draw. But it appears that the issues has arising between both Azuki and Julia. Now, the reason this is happening, that Julia believes that Azuki should have just stayed out of Stardom for good. But the reason Azuki came back is because she feels Stardom has let go and let the outsiders, more consistently people like Julia, to ruin everything in Stardom. So basically that's how it is. Because I mentioned this, she was a bit myth over Momokogo joining. But however, she saw that Momokogo is a very dedicated person. But when it comes to Julia, that's a different story. But there's no doubt in my mind we can see a match between those two. So that could happen at any given time. We just don't know when or where. Now our main event, we have Oda Tai consistent of Okigen Death, Saki Kashima, and Starlight Kid taking on Queen's Quest, Lady C, Utami Yoshida, and Saya Kamitani. Now you know this is one of those matches. Now keep in mind, what's her name? Starlight Kid has her sights set on the white belt that Saya Kamitani has. That's a belt that she needs to obtain. Now Odatai are desperately trying to gain momentum for themselves. As you know, they obtained the artist belts recently, but now it appears that that's going to happen. But however, it was a Kashima, a second Kashima, who picked up the victory, pinning Lady C. But however, as you know, Starlight Kid does not like the idea how that Kairi Sane is now stepping in her business. So basically, we could see that rivalry continue forward. So I think that's pretty much it. There is another Stardom show that I haven't reviewed yet, but I will get to that as soon as possible. But right now, I believe it's time for me to move on to the next review, AEW Dynamite. Okay, as you know, we have AEW Dynamite. This is the go-home show before we get to June 26th for the Forbidden Door, which we're all excited. I know everybody is. They're probably wondering who's going to be there, who's going to surprise us. Well, but first things first, it opened up with Bryan Danielson addressing the fans about his condition. As you know, he got injured. He's not medical cleared. And it disappoints us because we wanted him to be at the Forbidden Door and, of course, Blood and Guts. But however, it looks like we're going to get a new member who's going to take his spot, a guy he feels is going to surprise everyone. Now, Zack Sabre Jr. showed up. I think he's kind of curious to find out who he is because, as you know, Jericho said that Zack Sabre Jr. is the best technical wrestler in the world, claiming that Bryan Danielson is not that guy. But the real question is, who really is this new guy? Well, we don't know. We know that Bryan Danielson had talked about taking guys like Daniel Garcia or Lee Moriarty under their wing. But that's something we could see down the line, but we'll just wait. Now, Jon Moxley, as you know, he set up a video package he's teaming up with, of course, Tanahashi, but there is no doubt he is going to take on, of course, Jericho next week in Blood and Guts, which is something we're definitely going to get to see. Now, our next match, we have trios action. We got Orange Cassidy teaming up with Roppongi Vice to take on United Empire, Aussie Open, and Will Ospreay. I have to say it was a pretty good match. Now, keep in mind, I don't think Will Ospreay has ever dealt with a guy like Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is a unique wrestler, and I think that kind of tells us the whole thing. As you know, the United Empire are trying to claim they rule the entire world, wrestling world. But however, when it comes to territorial, AEW are stepping up, trying to show we're not backing down. So that kind of tells us that whole story. But it was, of course, the Orange Punch that sealed the deal by taking out Kyle Fletcher, giving Roppongi Vice and Orange Cassidy the win. However, it was in the post-match, Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan show up, trying to play the number games, but luckily FTR showed up to fight back. So, however, they didn't. United Empire were smart in order to retreat. Now, Jay Lethal, as you know, has been on a roll. However, he wants the ROH Television Championship because he believes that he earned it. He wants to know if Samoa Joe can just get back to work and wrestle, or if the possibility of vacating. So that is something we still don't know yet. But anything could happen. We just gotta wait and see. Now, we've been trying to find out what's been going on with Christian. Why did he turn on Jungle Boy? It turns out the reason he did it is because he hasn't forgotten that he got eliminated in that elimination match for a shot at the AEW World Title. So he decided to try to be by his side and that sort of thing. However, losing the tag titles kind of made him feel he was embarrassed. But however, he also explained his actions about what he said in front of Jungle Boy's mom, all this and that. But however, Luchasaurus wanted to give him a peace of mind, and then he got into his head, telling him, "Remember Marco." We don't know what happened with that. Like, what is going on? What kind of game is he playing? Is Luchasaurus really going to turn his back on Jungle Boy? Well, we just got to wait and see, because Christian Cage believes that this is going to be Jungle Boy's early retirement. But he'll come back stronger than he ever was before. Now, the Young Bucks, as you know, they're happy as clams. They finally got what they wanted, a chance to become two-time, or should say they are now the first ever two-time tag team AEW World Tag Team Champions. As for Kyle O'Reilly, he's not happy how things have gone with Bobby Fish. However, the Young Bucks did mention they're going to team up with members of the Bullet Club with El Fantasmo and Hikuleo to take on Sting and Darby Allin in the Forbidden Door. But however, the most exciting, surprising news was coming from Darby and Sting. It turns out that those two will be at the Forbidden Door, but their partners of their choosing was a rather surprising one for me. They chosen Hiromu Takahashi and Shingo Takagi. Now, this is going to be a very interesting matchup between them. Now, however, Shingo is a very powerhouse person. Hiromu Takahashi has been declared as one of the best junior heavyweight competitors in the world, and I think it's going to tell us a whole different thing. But we'll see what happens. Now, we get our last qualifying match for the AEW World All Atlantic Championship Tournament. We have Malachi Black versus Penta Oscuro. This match was pretty good, I have to say. It was exactly, but however, there is a wrinkle. Probably some of you probably wanted to see Penta to go to the Forbidden Door, but however, unfortunately, that does not going to happen. Now, I mentioned this before on the previous news updates, where apparently AAA are not allowing wrestlers who are on their payroll to go to Forbidden Door. Now, the reason that happened is because they have no relations to um, New Japan Pro Wrestling. The only Mexican promotion that has that ability is CMLL, and that's the reason it happened. So this is not AEW's doing. I mean, as much as you want to believe, it's not. It's a very tricky situation. So that's the reason Malachi Black won. But however, apparently, as you know, we have Malachi Black, Miro, and Pac ready for this. But the real interesting thing is Miro sent a very threatening messages to all three competitors, Tomohiro Ishii, Pac, and Malachi Black. So we got to see what's going to take place. So start setting your bets on that. Now, as you know, Warlow, he's a free man. He can do whatever he wants. But right now, he sends a video message saying that right now he's going for the TNT Championship. Now, we know Dan Lambert would do whatever it takes to protect him from Warlow. But the last thing you need is to piss off the Beast. That's how it works. Now, before our next match starts, we have Adam Cole once again interjecting himself in to the commentary section because he wants to call the match. We have Silas Young taking on Hangman Page. From what you guys may or may not know, it turns out those two hate each other completely. And as you know, Adam Cole, he has issues towards Hangman Page on various levels. He claims like, oh, he's a loser for losing the AEW World Title. No, that's not true. He was a good champion, and he fought his tooth and nail for it. But however, that's not how he sees it. But however, it was the Buckshot Larry that sealed the deal for him to win the match. Once again, Adam Cole tries to prove a point, saying what a loser he is, but he was interrupted by Jay White. So Jay White tries to get in his face, but however, Hammond wasn't going to happen. So it became a 2-on-1 scenario. But however, the biggest surprise took place. We saw the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, making his debut. We did not anticipate this was going to happen. You probably would say in a million years Kazuchika will never set foot inside a international ring, and it turned out to be AEW. Now, we get a very interesting interview. As you know, Red Velvet is now hurt. She don't know when she'll be back, but however, they're setting auditions for a new baddie. So basically, trying to promote that one way or the other. But however, Chris Statlander and Athena decide to make a mockery in their interview towards, oh look, I want to know how Jade Cargill smells. So they're trying to make fun of them. So basically, they don't care who they're getting. So basically, they better be prepared for them. That's what they're trying to say. Now, our next match, we have Marina Shafir along with Nyla Rose to take on Toni Storm. Now, keep in mind, Toni Storm is currently the one who is going to face Thunder Rosa. I have to say, it was a pretty good match. I don't think Marina Shafir expected to lose against her, but it happened. Thunder Rosa came out to give a save, but keep in mind they will see each other this coming Sunday. Now, our main event we have is Chris Jericho and Lance Archer taking on Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi. I have to say this was one of those crazy matches you did not anticipate a whole lot. But however, Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti were ringside. But however, it was Tanahashi that picked up the victory at the end. But at the end of the entire programming, all hell broke loose. We saw, of course, Kingston dealing with Sammy. What's his name? Wheeler Yuta dealing with Jericho. But out of the blue, we see Minoru Suzuki coming out, and then we have Santana. We have other members of the Jericho Appreciation Society: Garcia, Menard, Parker, and of course we have Shooter. He made his debut along with, of course, Santana Ortiz. So this is going to be one crazy match. So this is going to be, however, while the All Mayhem was going around, Tanahashi and John Moxley were locking face to face while all this mess was happening. I thought it was pretty impressive with the whole scene. You know, they know what's going on, but they're mostly seeing who's going to prove it's the true ace or something like that. I don't know. But it's a fantastic moment. So I think it was good. I liked it. But let's see what's going to happen on Rampage as well. But for now, let's just move on to our last thing we're going to do, which is some news updates. Okay, Tokyo Pro Wrestling has announced for their upcoming tournament, the Tokyo Princess Cup. This happens every year, like always. It's going to run through July 16th all the way to August 14th. Now, however, certain developments have taken place, has been announced by the dramatic Dream Team, um, which is the English version of DDT, and they throw in a bit of the Pro Wrestling Noah and, of course, the Tokyo Pro stuff. They revealed that Maki Ito will not be entering in this tournament due, due to the fact that the finals will take place on that very day, the 14th. Turns out that Maki Ito will be making her GCW debut on that particular day. Now, keep in mind, this is not something new. Yuka Sakazaki was last year was unable to make it because she was here in the States, being part of the AEW during some other events. However, it also was told that Julia Nagano will not be placed in the tournament due to her schedule. Now, she is a registered nurse, if you guys know this. She's also an actress, so basically she's busy, but we'll see what happens then. However, this one was very interesting. They're saying that Miyu Yamashita will enter the tournament, but despite the fact that she's booked on the 23rd at the Garden State Pro. However, her tournament schedule will be determined after the bracket is complete. So she will participate, but possibly she'll be missing maybe a day or two of the tournament. Now, our last update here, this one was coming from Girl Pro Wrestling's unit leader of Colors, Saki. As you know, they're freelancers. Some of you probably question when we'll see those guys. Well, apparently, Saki will be at the event next month, teaming with the members of Cosmic Angels. However, she posted out a picture on her Twitter page where she and fellow Colors member Hikari Shimizu will be teaming up with Mina and Unagi to take on the members of Queen's Quest, consisting of Lady C, Azumi, Utami Shida, and Sai Kamitani. So this is like more of a preview before that big match taking place next month. So I'm excited for that because it's going to be interesting. As you know, I'm a fan of the Cosmic Angels. I love the true underdog story, and I've always been a fan of that. So I think that's pretty much it with news updates. So I believe it's time for me to call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we have Thursday Wrestling. Of course, we have MLW, NXT UK, and of course, Impact Wrestling. I may throw in a 1 or 2 Yoshi event. I may throw in the Stardom event that I haven't seen yet. It took place in Iwate, and of course, possibly, I haven't decided yet what's going to be the other one. I have 3 choices in mind right now. I have Pro Wrestling Wave, or it's going to be Marvelous, or is it going to be Tokyo Pro? I haven't decided yet, but I will make that as a surprising thing for everyone. I think that's pretty much it. So for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.